What's up, everybody? I'm TJ McClelland, and I'm here with my sweet mother, Carrie.
Hey, everyone.
So I'm so excited. We are going to be talking about why we took Fitness Realty as a marketing group over to Real Broker. First off, I know that there's a lot of people out there that are probably wondering, why in the heck would you take your company over to another competing brokerage firm? We are going to answer as many of those thoughts that you probably have right now. We're going to try to answer as many of those as we can. So if you're a person out there that you are a broker and you have 10 to 15 people on your team and you're struggling, wondering what the heck you're doing, or you have all of these questions or concerns about your brokerage firm, this video is going to help you with navigating that. So I have a fun list that you guys can't see of all the things that we had wrote down for our pros and cons. So as you can tell, there's way more pros than cons, but we are going to go over the cons. There are compromises that you have to make to transfer to Real. So before we get started though, Mom, what is something that you really enjoy about Real now that we have been over here for about 65 days or something like that?
Yeah, Real offers many different tools that we as realtors can use, that we're not trying to develop our own, whatever it needs to be for marketing. So diving in with that, taking on their CRM program that's amazing, has really been helpful.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. Okay, so real quick, I love what you said about the technology or the CRM. That is huge. The offerings that Real has to give to real estate agents are phenomenal. Top shelf items that they give to each broker or team lead or realtor to really help you make your business more successful. So what is something that you could say, being an associate broker of Fitness Realty before we left, that kind of really got you excited about the move to Real?
Well, I deal with a lot of organization parts of my business, and Real has everything set up so that you can include or add your transactions and be able to track everything very easily. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. It is there for you.
Oh, that's cool. And the organization is huge.
Mm-hmm.
As a business owner, you've been in real estate for how long?
33 years.
33 years. A lot of us can't even count that high because we don't have as many fingers and toes as that goes. So, but with that, as a business owner, what was something that you were maybe timid about, or something that kind of made you nervous about the change over to Real?
Well, I think being realtors, we're type A people, and we like control.
No way.
Yes, we do. And so having that control has always been really important, and kind of shifting and letting Real be the broker now and be kind of in control of not really what we're doing, but how it's done, has been a little bit different.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. As the principal broker of Fitness Realty, when we were running our sales team from that side, day to day, we always had concerns that we may be put into a position of full-on liability that we just had no control over. And I know that there's a lot of brokerage firms out there that are successful and they make the business model work. But for us, we saw the transition to Real as something that could help our agents be more successful faster, which I think was really a big key point for us. So as you guys may not know, I've been in the business for 15 years, or have held a license for 15 years. We ran Fitness Realty for 7 years straight as me being the principal broker and my mom the associate broker. And we learned a ton of lessons through there. Lessons learned were happening like every single day on how we could improve and things that we could do differently to really help our agents be successful. And when we saw Real and what they were providing, I got excited about what we could do for our team members. And so we're going to go through some of the list on here just really fast so you guys can see. So like I said, if you're a broker out there with like 10 to 15 agents, or you're an agent that's struggling, we have tons of information for you to compile or for you to learn in this video that can help you in your career. So I think the very first one that a lot of people think about with Real, and it's right on the top of my list, is the revenue stream for downline and people that are underneath you. And I don't mean beneath you, I just mean that they are in your downline of people that you are training. Now, in a traditional brokerage firm, if you are not the broker or a team lead of a brokerage that allows you to do that, there's not any way for you to make extra money from somebody that you're teaching or training or that's partnered with you unless you're doing some referral partnerships that way. So the time leverage, I think, that Real gives to the average agent to be able to have a partnership or to bring somebody and influence them to come to Real is huge. And that's something that got me really excited because as a brokerage firm, obviously we had splits for our agents, but those splits didn't make it so that they were really incentivized to work as hard as they could. Now, the business model in Real, as we've learned and grown and seen in this business, Real is offering something that an average agent can take their business to the next level. And then if they're a rock star, they can make more money with Real than a traditional brokerage firm. And I'll explain some of that here as we go. So first thing that kind of really got me excited on our pros list was the revenue downstream or the revenue stream from your downline. Incentivizing everybody to work harder around you, I think, is something that Fitness Realty was always really good at. And now that we've transitioned to Real, we get to like double down on that, which I think is cool. Do you have anything to add on that one?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that I think initially with Real Broker, I really knew nothing about the downline until we talked about it. So maybe could you just share a little bit more on how that works? Because
for
it's
sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, so the downline process gives every person in Real the ability to attract people and talent to come to Real. They don't have to be on your team. They don't have to be in your marketing group. They don't have to be a partner with you. All you have to do is attract them to Real, and then you will be offered parts of the split that person will have from Real. So it's usually, or not usually, there's a percentage that they have on their website. I don't know if it's ever changed over the long haul, so don't quote me on what the percentage is. I just know that as you attract more people, the revenue share does get better and better. In our lineup, the person that attracted us to Real, they have about $100,000 a year in revenue share from the team members that they have attracted to Real. So there is a great way for you to have passive income that in traditional sense of a brokerage firm, you wouldn't have access to, and now you do. Which I think is kind of cool because a lot of people want access to that. They don't want to be a broker. Now you have access to that. So if you're an agent looking for that, let me chat with you and I'll help you understand what that looks like and bring you to Real. And even if you don't want to partner with us, that's totally okay. If I attract you to Real and give you those tools, then you can be a better successful agent. Okay, next was stock options. Fitness Realty had some shareholders and shares and things like that, and it was super fun, but also super difficult because we were an ultra tiny company compared to Real Broker. Real Broker right now is hovering around that 1 billion market share or market value mark, which is really intense. So if you paired Real Broker against Fitness Realty, we were like a grain of sand as they are the size of a house potentially or whatever, I don't know. So they had a lot more leverage they had a lot more room for economies of scale because they were so much bigger. But the stock options, in my opinion, is one of the greatest tools in real estate that nobody really talks about. I've used this analogy a lot of times in my business where when I'm talking to an agent, a brand new agent, I want them to learn what we teach about passive wealth generation because a lot of agents in real estate don't learn anything and they get to the end of their career of 40 years or 50 years or whatever, and they're still the old dude sitting in a CE class not knowing how to actually make money in this career. Now, there's two reasons why somebody's sitting in a CE class with such a long history in a career. One of two options. One, they still need to make money, which is cool. Number two, or sorry, the first one, they still need to make money because they didn't learn how to do any passive wealth generation. Or number two, which is probably going to be me and my mom, we just love this business and we're going to be in it forever.
Thank you for saying that, because
Yeah.
I was like, if you're going on this old, I'm
Yeah.
old.
It's totally going to be us anyways, right? We're going to be in there coaching young people, but we've learned how to play the passive wealth generation through rental property. Or the reason why I bring up the stock options is because you can sign up with Real, and every time you have a transaction, they will buy extra shares of their stock for you, plus the ones that you put in. So there's kind of a matching program there, which can give you some great savings account options, or not a savings account, but like an IRA or whatever you want to call it. But to have a place that you have put away some cash, I think is pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The stock options, you can put away 5% of your transaction before you cap, and then 10% after you cap, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to kind of go a little faster just so that we have the sake of time. I know everybody doesn't want to watch this for an hour or whatever, but so the next one is in-house training and national training. Fitness Realty had great training, but we had to take time out of our day to make content or to train, and now Real Broker has a full training department with live classes every single day, Monday through Friday, I believe, taught by some of their elite agents. Now, the elite agents have to close over 33 transactions to hit that, or have $500,000 in GCI, which is crazy. So if you're making, if you're closing over $500,000 in business, you're doing pretty good, or over 33 transactions. So in-house training and the national training, I think, is huge because it helped propel us and our team to a new level of training that we've never experienced before, just in Fitness Realty. My mom really mentioned the CRM, but on up next, we have two kind of put together, and we'll kind of put all these together that are all in the technology sector. Real Broker feels like a technology company. They are big enough now to buy technology at a cheap enough cost and offer it to all of us as realtors to help us be more successful, which is impressive. So a couple of those things are Real Signature. So everybody, if you're out there and you're paying for Dotloop or DocuSign or SkySlope or whatever is out there, that money you could be putting towards marketing in Real Broker, because you don't have to buy that. Now you get Real Signature for free. So it's just like DocuSign. So if you're familiar with DocuSign, it's just like that. So this could save you $300 or $400 a year. Then my mom mentioned the CRM. The CRM that they use is called Lofty. It used to be called Chime. So if you guys know anything about Chime or Lofty, that's the one that they use. It's usually $500 a month if you buy it for yourself, plus all of the fees on top of that. Real Broker is giving it to each one of the agents for $40 a month, which is insane. It is the most powerful CRM that I've ever seen. It's totally integrated. If you come to us and I attract you to Real and you want to work with us and our team and our marketing group, I will literally show you how to set up Lofty and let it run for you and pretty much manage your database, which is insane. Okay, let's see. Revenue for attraction, we kind of mentioned that with the revenue stream, so we're gonna just breeze past that. But like I said, there is revenue stream for attracting people. There's revenue stream for teaching other agents. When you're an elite agent, there's tons of perks that have to that go with that. And there's links on our, or we'll leave a link down below that you guys can see all of the perks that come from transferring over to Real. All right, let's see. I have one in here that says no more worrying about people's commissions. As a brokerage and as a business owner, and my mom can tell you how stressed I was sometimes. A lot of times I didn't look like that, but there were a ton of times that I would be stressed out about people's commission, when it's getting paid, how it's getting paid, making sure that it doesn't get lost. People work really hard for that, and I don't want to be the person that's like, oh, well, we wired it to Afghanistan and now it's gone.
Have it.
And so I don't want that, And so the one of the biggest things that we got from moving to Real was a release of the weight of being the broker. There are people that are really skilled at being brokers, and Real Broker has those people at the leadership helm, making sure that all those daily tasks get completed, which for me as a business owner, releasing that weight was huge. What do you want to say about that? What does that feel like for you too?
Well, I think it frees up our time as well, so we can get out there and just do what we love doing and talking to people and selling real estate. So
Yeah, which is huge. So putting more time in the thing that makes money, right? The brokerage side and the business side does make money if you have a good enough business model. But if you are in a small brokerage firm and you have probably 15 to 20 agents, most likely your time is being divided so many places that you're really thin and you're not putting the most time into the things that make you the most money. Let's see. So real quick on liability though, I'll have a ton of things on here about liability. So we're just going to breeze through them beyond this, but releasing the liability to somebody else that has a legal team, they have the mindset for it. Maybe they are a lawyer already. But I moved all of those like requirements off my shoulders and onto somebody else's so that, like my mom said, we could focus on helping our team be more successful in their business and close more transactions. And at the end of the day, that's one of my favorite things to do. And we're just better at that than I probably was at being a broker, just to be honest. Okay, let's see. We have releasing all of the compliance issues. Like I said, that's kind of lumped into liability. Releasing all the document monitoring for someone else. The compliance side for documents is huge. And if you transfer over to Real Broker, they have 3 contract specialists that look at every single document that you push through. And so now you have a team that understands those contracts, that is watching your back. Huge, huge, huge benefit. And then to a broker, so if you're a broker, like I said, with 10 agents, and you're sick of doing the compliance side for all of the contracts, this takes all of that weight off your shoulders. All right, one thing for us was our business model. We have a capital asset holding side that is trying to buy more property as we speak right now, but we needed to uncouple our sales side from that. And so if you're interested in like business models and business structure, ask me more questions about that, but we won't get too far into that because there's just like a rabbit hole we would go down and we would be here for another hour on that. But if you have business model questions, reach out to me for sure. Okay, one of the items that I find is we hit about 34 agents at the height of our peak during COVID. A lot of those weren't producing agents, of course. That's every team. Every team has people that are not producing. Then they have some middle ones that are doing 1 to 2 deals a year. Then they have, like maybe the 5 to 10, and then they have some rock stars. So we were no different than the cut across most brokerage firms. But I have in here the potential to grow the team. So Real Broker allows you to attract people that are not even in your same state. Now, if you're a brokerage firm that's like right on the lines of a state and you want to have business inside the other state, you can start now attracting people from that across state lines. And so for us to run Fitness Realty as a marketing group, we are going to start taking Fitness Realty as a national marketing group so that people can use all of our social media, all of the traction that we bring to homes to get the best top dollar. But now we will have access to do that in an easier way. So if you are a person looking to grow outside of the state of Utah or wherever you're from, Real Broker makes that possible. And then for us specifically, we are looking for people that are outside of Utah that love our brand and want a piece of that so that you can grow and make your real estate business more successful quicker. So if you have questions about that, let me know. All right, let's see. Honestly, this is part of how we transferred to Real. There are a couple ways that you can move your entire team. So we chose to move as a marketing group so we could maintain our branding and all of our logos, which nobody has one on right now. Oh, it's right here. So we have our logo on our jackets and all sorts of stuff, but we got to maintain that by moving as a marketing group. But you could move your team as an elite team or a team, I don't know what they call it. But if you move that way, you can control everybody's splits and caps and things like that. I wanted every one of our team members to have full access to all of the perks. So we moved everybody as a marketing group so we can maintain the branding, but also so that they can have all of the perks, revenue share, stock options, growing and attracting people to Real for themselves, lots of that. So that's why we chose the marketing group. That whole topic is really, really deep. So if you're a broker right now with a small team and you have questions about that specifically, reach out to me for sure, because I'll take any one-on-one question. All right, they do have a way to move over as a private label. That they don't have that in Utah as of this recording. They will have private label where you move your entire brokerage firm and maintain all of your current function, but use all of Real's tools and things. I don't know what that looks like for the state of Utah, so don't ask me about that. All right, one of the pros for having us as a marketing group is to keep our logo and all of our marketing that we have already done. So if you've seen Fitness Realty online, which we have almost 25,000 followers across our social media, we didn't want to lose that. And so if you're a broker right now and you love your brand, keep it. Move as a marketing group and keep your logo just like we did. It's super successful because people know you as your brand. So move your brand. Don't lose it. You don't need to. Move as a marketing group, super easy. On that note, how passionately do you feel about the Fitness Realty logo, and was that an important thing for you to move to Real?
1000% to keep Fitness Realty.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had it so long, and that's just the people know us by that.
Yeah.
So yes, it was very, very important.
Yeah, I totally agree. People do know us with the brand. It's on our cars, it's on our wristbands, and you have spent a lot of time with your brand as well. So move the entire brand. Yeah. Keep it and keep going. Okay, that's one of my favorites too, because we got to keep the logo, because I literally walked into the meeting and said, if we don't keep the logo, then I'm out in the first 2 minutes or so. So there are options for you to do that. All right, let's see, we got there's another perk for the marketing group. So all of our participants, and I've mentioned this just a second ago, all of our participants can have all of the perks that would be afforded to them in their career. We didn't change any of their caps. We don't take any extra money or change anything that they wouldn't be able to utilize those perks. So everybody is like a full member with Real that transferred with us. That's also what I love about the marketing group. Keep your logo, keep your team, have fun, sell more real estate, close more deals. All right, let's see. I had one in here for moving on January 1st, but we'll just skip past that because we moved on. Well, I moved on January 6th. But they do make it really easy for you to dial in when you're going to transfer. So you can close your deals, then transfer, or transfer with all of your deals, bring them over to Real, and then close them underneath Real. Both options are really successful. We had people closing deals as they were transferring to Real prior to me coming over to Real. And so as a broker owner, if you have questions about how to make that happen, I will let you know, because we literally had to do it. All right, let's see. What in the heck is this? Oh, this one's all about the plan of how to move your team. So like I said, if you have questions about how to move an entire team, I'll show you everything that I know about that. This one says, if we just have the marketing brand, people can leave our marketing anytime they wanted to and join other teams. So this is the beauty of moving as a marketing group over to Real. If you have team members that love your brand, but then all of a sudden they're like, hey, I want to start my own brand, or I want to do something different, or I want to join a different team at Real, they totally can. So this gives all the access and all the choices to the people that move with you. Instead of trying to control everything that they do, which I hate trying to control somebody else, I want to give them options and have them do whatever they want. This gives everybody options. Let's see. Okay, one of the biggest perks that is in the technology side is the app. So we the app that they have is called Reason. So Reason controls like your wallet on there. It controls Real Signature, has a ton of the partnership programs. It'll allow you to log into all of the different technology that they have. It lets you see your stock options, your revenue share, your downline. All of these different things are on Reason. I want you to right now, if you're a broker owner out there, go and ask somebody what it costs to build an app. It is an outrageous cost. So if you don't have that in your budget, come over to Real. Somebody else already paid that. Somebody else already did that. Just utilize what's already there because it's amazing. What about the app that we have access to with Real? What's your favorite part about that?
The organization and having everything in one spot. So you just know, you open the app and you can see all of your transactions are in there, so you can find everything that you would need for your clients. You can see how much money, you can put a goal in there for what you're going to make for this year. Everything will be, from what you've gotten paid, it will all come off of that and you see right where you're at.
Oh, that's pretty cool. And it kind of helps you with that business plan, like making how much do I want to make? Okay, I got to put that in there. And then you can kind of see like, am I on track to do that? It really is awesome at keeping you accountable, for one, because you see it all the time. And number two, actually writing it down what your goal is will help more people achieve that, which I think is huge. Okay, next, Real has different categories or different titles that people can go into. One of them happens to be luxury. So if you're a luxury agent or you're a luxury brokerage firm right now, you can move your entire brand over to Real and get into the luxury market. There are certain criteria that you have to hit to do that, but if you want the luxury tag and the ability to do luxury in Real as a luxury agent, then you can totally do that. If you're an agent that just closes big homes anyways, you can totally do that too. You don't have to be called luxury, but they just have an avenue for you to do that. If you're a military person out there, they have a military association in Real, and it allows you to have access to whatever the military side has for you. There are a lot of items in there that I don't know about yet because I've submitted my application, but it takes like 60 days. So I can't quote on that of what it looks like, but if you want a piece of that and you're a military person, let me know and I'll walk you through what that looks like. One of the liability things that we totally got rid of is all the financials for the business and the sales side and 1099s and W-4s and whatever else. Like, I don't have to do any of that anymore. So if you're a broker owner and you hated that, come to Real, and then you don't have to do that. My mom knows that's always a stress factor. And then people on your team, when you're the broker owner, are like, bro, where's my 1099? You didn't send it out. And I'm like, well, my accountant did, and then it got lost. And they want to file their taxes but can't. And so there's a lot of like stress on just the financial side. So come over to Real, give it to somebody else. They do have a once a year conference called Rise that is a national conference. So Fitness Realty was never big enough to have a national conference. And now we have access to a national conference to go rub elbows with somebody who's closing 100 deals a year or 500, right? Like, I want to be with people that are doing this business at a high level and learn from them. This year's Rise conference, I'm hoping that we get to go, but I haven't seen where you buy tickets yet because they have that closed. But as soon as I can buy a ticket, I'm going to buy one for me and my mom. Let's see. The interesting thing here is along the lines of more support, national support, local support. They have these agent meetings, and they're kind of ran inside the Real Academy. And those agent meetings are really getting you in a space with other people that are learning or that have done this business at a very, very high level so that you can learn from them. And we've just never had that space. I mean, we are meeting people that are closing a lot of deals, but they're not willing to share that really upfront. And in Real, it feels like more people are willing to share exactly what they know on a national scale, which is pretty insane. Like, they will tell you, this is what's working in my business right now. And I think that's pretty fun. All right, we've done a ton of the pros. Let's move to cons. There are compromises you have to make to move to Real. What's probably one of the worst things that you found to move to Real?
The loss of control.
Okay,
Sorry to bring that up again. But
so she wants liability, but no liability.
exactly.
Okay, all right. That's funny. Well, help us understand what you mean by the control side. What does that look like for you? And just enlighten us on that.
Well, I think as a business owner, you feel like you're at the top, right? And you're bringing in people, and you have the way that you do your business. And moving to something else where it's it's spelled out for you, and it's all good. That's the great thing about it.
Yeah.
But you still have that kind of mental anguish of losing control. But you don't really.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So, in my opinion, when we transitioned, now there's a corporate feel about what documents are required and what's needed to produce, and like where you have to upload those, and what documents are even in there in the first place. So yeah, I totally understand the control side for sure, and for me, I kind of felt that as well. There was a couple of agents on our team that have kind of voiced that as well, that it just feels different. There's a corporate feel. There's a, hey, these are all mandatory things, and we didn't have some of those because they weren't state mandatory, but they were company-based mandatory, and so there was a lot of control that we had to just relinquish, for sure. All right, in our business, we had a dividend process, and now we don't have a dividend through Real Broker. They do have stock options, but they don't have a dividend, to my knowledge, yet with their stock options. It's literally just like normal stock options. You can buy some, you hold them, they're going to go up, hopefully, then you cash out when you're ready to spend it on something or retire. So in our side, we just don't have the dividends with that. So again, in the business model structuring, if you have questions about that specifically, let me know. Okay, moving the team might feel crappy. This one was huge. We were wrestling with it for a couple weeks or longer, maybe, I don't know, where it was like, who's going to move with us? Do people really want this? Are they going to get scared and jump ship? Are they going to just be mad at us for leaving? Or are they going to get mad at us when we leave and go? And now they have something different. So we were wrestling with a lot of feelings like that. Kind of tell us what you were feeling with that, the prior to releasing it to everybody. What did that feel like?
Well, I think with most things, knowledge is power. And once we started understanding things, you and I, and we were able to get that information out to them, I think the people that did come with us understood the plan and understood where it was going. And that it's actually, ultimately, it's going to build them a bigger business with all of the tools and everything that's involved with Real. So yeah, I think the people that came realized that.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, and on that, like the crappy feelings were really like what you said, it was the unknowns. We had a lot of questions. I mean, I had a boatload of questions for everybody that I talked to about Real. I had a lot of questions about like who's liable for things, who's running it, what's the leadership like, what contracts are still in there, what tools do we have access to, is this going to be a benefit for me? Really weighing that. But on the feeling of the team side, so if you're a broker out there, like I said, 10, 15 agents, like talking to your team about this is actually easier than you think. You will have people that are not going to transfer with you. Those people were most likely going to quit your team anyways. Mm-hmm. The people that we had quit, they weren't really a part of our team all the time. They were here, they asked me for questions, they did close some deals, but they never really had full buy-in with the branding and with the team. And so when they quit, yeah, it hurts. Like, yeah, we wanted them to come with us, of course, because I know that this was going to be a benefit for them, but it just feels funky. So your first time launching that to your team does feel awkward. And then once you relay all the information and show them the benefit, it is amazing for the people that understand it. And the people that were going to leave anyways, they were probably going to leave just regardless of what you said. So up next, we in the beginning, thought we were going to lose some of our identity, the brand identity. What do you think on that? Do you think we've lost any brand identity?
No, not at all. I think it's actually even become bigger because Real Broker is such a big company that when people see that, they now have two things to go on.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I totally agree with you on that. And in fact, on the social media side and what we've been able to do from Lofty for lead gen, which I didn't even talk about the pros of Lofty with lead gen. Our brand is accelerating quicker than we could have without Real Broker.
Right.
I mean, we were accelerating pretty quick, but now it's like, now we have like stepped on the gas a little bit more, which is pretty cool. All right. So like I said, or not like I said, but if you're a broker out there and you think you're going to lose brand identity by moving to Real, it's not going to happen. If you move as a marketing group, you're going to keep all of your branding, and it's just going to get better and make you more successful. Okay, one of them on here, have to play by someone else's rules. So we kind of touched on that a little bit already, but honestly, like releasing some of the control, but also releasing all the liability and ethics violations that you might run into with agents and coaching or any of that stuff far outweighs having to do something by somebody else's rules, in my opinion. So, and a lot of brokers, you're probably in this right now. You're probably like, yeah, I'm in my business. We maybe have been doing this 5-6 years. I love it, but I don't love it. This is a perfect opportunity. All right, potential for more agents to quit. Along the same lines of the awkwardness and the crappy feeling of trying to launch it to everybody and really get the information to them, we were thinking in the back of our minds, oh, all the team's going to quit, everybody's going to leave, this is going to like blow up and explode, and everybody's going to just stop being with us. And what we found was the people that really liked us and loved us and trusted us, they're the ones that came with us. And the people that didn't really have a fit in with us, or they just didn't really have the brand buy-in, they left. So your team will get stronger and get better unleashing this and really releasing it to your people and letting them know the information. It's going to get better. I know it feels weird and it's counterintuitive, but it actually gets stronger and better. And then we had an idea that was that if we move to Real Broker, that it feels like failure. That it feels like we're quitting on Fitness Realty. It feels like we're quitting on the brand. It feels like we're quitting and leaving it and going to Real because we were failures. And in my opinion, we wrestled with that for a little bit, but now being on the other side, have transitioned already. I couldn't be more wrong about that, or I couldn't have been more wrong about that. And the feelings were more of the unknowns. We just didn't know what we didn't know. And now transitioning as a broker owner and really like understanding that we didn't fail, we're taking our brand to the next level and running faster than we could have. And along that same lines, we had it as looks like we are a sellout. And I had that in the beginning of the feeling, prior to the transfer, but right now, it feels amazing to be on board with teams that are crushing it in the business and being able to really accelerate what we've done and what we will do in the next 5 years. So for us, it looks amazing. All right, and then I had on here, if we can't keep the logo going, I have to buy new shirts and a leather vest. Well, we got to keep the brand. So when you're out there thinking about your own brand, you don't have to get rid of it. Keep it rocking, keep it rolling. Along those same lines, new signs, new cards, pretty much new everything that might cost a ton. So in my mind, logistically, I was like, we can't keep the brand. Like I'm out. Just, So like what my mom said, keeping our brand was 1,000% like a must-have, and you get to do that. So again, just reiterating to all the broker owners out there, your brand that you've really poured your heart, your blood, your sweat, your tears into, keep it and accelerate it even further for the next 5 years or 10 years or however long you're with Real. So if you have questions about that, let me know. All right, and then We had some questions about private label, but like I said, that's not in Utah at the time of this recording. And then another piece about private label. So that's all we got on our list. What's like one thing that you could say to a broker owner that may be thinking about transitioning to Real?
Probably something that hit me just a few minutes ago as you were talking about the people that we're going to rub elbows with. I didn't know about the owner of Real Broker, and he's amazing, Sharon. Why wouldn't you want to like pick his brain all the time? And pretty much they're putting it out there in all of the videos they have, plus all those classes that they do, the live classes. So you're going to be finding all this information as you dive into Real Broker and the Real Academy and see everything that he's put it all together. It's him. You know, he has a huge team. But
yeah, which I think is huge. And to piggyback on that, like to have access to all of the tools and training, it's only going to make you stronger if you tap into it. As a broker owner, one of the things that I would pass on is right now you're spending a lot of time trying to gear up, get your new agents to try to close, and hopefully you find that rock star that is going to be a producer. Take some of that off your shoulders, and now all you have to do is attract them, bring them to Real, bring them to your marketing group or somebody else's team. It's totally fine, but attract them to Real and push that like training and everything else on somebody else. Because honestly, like if you spend a lot of time in training like I did, we made a full-on online portal of all of our training, and we have taken people from knowing nothing about real estate to 100 grand their first year several times, which doesn't happen all the time. So like you guys know, sometimes you just hit the lottery and get a rock star that knows what they want and are hungry and motivated, and you just teach them and they go in the pathway and they become successful. Well, now instead of focusing all your time on making content, on training videos, or bringing them in the office and training them personally, let a national side of huge amounts of people that are really skilled at teaching, training, and they're amazing in their own business, let them take them to the next level. Let them take your new agent to the next level.
Well, can I just add that one of the things, being able to just take that business side away and not have the responsibility of coming up with the new advertising that you're going to do and everything that needs to go along with the business. Now they're doing it. Real Brokers taking that on. And I think there's some new things coming out that they said, be ready, because some fun things are happening.
Yeah.
And yet we didn't have to create that.
Yeah,
so.
Which is huge. And they just went over 25,000 agents nationally. So it's growing really fast. And when things are growing fast, there's either a lot of hype or a big value. I think Real Broker has both because we've seen the value, but there is a lot of hype because people are talking about it all the time. Okay, lastly, before we leave, me as a broker owner, the thing that I would tell other broker owners in that 15 to 20 agent category, I know right now, because I was living it, you're spending a lot of time thinking about everybody else. And they might not be feeling that, they might not ever know it, and they might not ever care about that. And if you move to Real, you now will be able to move a lot of that mental capacity over to somebody else that's going to shift and that is highly skilled in that, and move your business to where that you can focus now on your business and attracting the right talent and growing to close more deals. I know that in our business, I did spend a ton of time focusing on everybody else, and my mom would be like, you're stressed out about them, or you're thinking about them, or I was just worried about them because I want everybody to be successful around me. And sometimes when somebody doesn't see that value and then they get pissed off at you and they leave and just up and quit, which is totally fine, it happens in the business all the time. But as a broker owner, I'm looking directly at you because I know that it still hurts. And so you don't have to have that anymore if you transfer to Real, because it just is easier. There's an easier way to do this business. There are easier tools at your fingertips. It's just better.
I mean, we're not saying we want to lose any team members at all, because that makes you feel bad, but it's a little bit different.
Yeah, totally. And then lastly, on the CRM side, if I wasn't going to give you something that was pure money in the bank, this is it. The reason why one of the reasons why Real is so powerful is because the partnership with Lofty. Lofty will have you do more transactions if you set it up properly. So if you're a person out there and you want more training on Lofty, I will help you set it up. We are getting like 50 to 60 leads a week or so on my Lofty. Not all those pan out, obviously, because you guys know that internet leads are kind of like down here compared to Sphere. So, there's a lot of that.
Got to work it all.
Yeah. And then really quick for brand new agents, if you are a brand new agent and you don't know what you're doing, message me. We have a Dealmaker Academy right now where you can actually partner with me so that your first deal is my next deal. So my next deal that I get, you get to come on board. I'm going to give you some raw, off-the-cuff experience, listing and a buy side. So you can have a listing and a buyer, and you can graduate from our Dealmaker Academy, and we will provide that if you'll come and join us at Real.
Excellent.
Yeah. On the Dealmaker Academy, in numbers, just so you're aware, one of our last deals from last year was a $24,000 buyer side. If you were partnered with us on the Dealmaker Academy, you could have made about $4,000 or $4,200, something like that. So if that is of value to you, reach out to me. I'd love to have a conversation and teach you about it.
Sounds great.
Okay. My name is TJ McClellan. I've got my sweet mother here. Her name's Carrie McClellan, and we will see you guys next time. Bye.